We're clapping for Friday and maybe the show and our guest today. We have got some rock on build today, which I'm very excited about. New Year's Day is our guest. Well, this has got to be a couple fun days for you here in New York City, no?
Yeah, it's been incredibly surreal for us.
Absolutely. It's like a dream.
Is that the word, surreal?
Yeah, I
sure,
actually
yeah.
thought that on the way
Great.
here. That's
a good
the
word.
word we're using the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Why surreal, though? You guys have been working hard.
Because we're just, literally, this is the first thing that pops in my head. We're just a bunch of punk rock kids that, no one really cared about in the beginning. And now, even right now, people care. And it's incredible. You know, it still hasn't hit me completely yet.
Yeah. Well, you talk about being punk rock kids, and you described it, you, Ash, in the past, as you grew up in a Warped Tour world, which I'm sure Kevin Lyman loves. It's a T-shirt waiting to happen.
Yeah.
But you guys have sort of crossed over into the heavier stuff. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Right? But that's interesting to me because a lot of the people in the heavier stuff, they want to cross over into the lighter stuff. So it's an interesting trajectory. How has the path been for you guys?
You know, there was never really a focus or a goal. We've just always done what we felt was right at the time.
Right.
You know, it was never it would work out really well for us if we could change the music this way. It was always just what we felt like we wanted to do. And if people liked it, great. And if they didn't, then whatever.
Right. And it's so funny. It's you're always nervous as an artist when you change a sound or you just go in a new direction. Not that you guys have really ever taken a really hard left turn, but it's when you're true to yourself and you are just doing what you feel and what resonates with you, it always resonates with the fans the most. It's a funny thing about music. This event last night at Sony Square here in the city, it must have been so cool. And you announced, you kind of gave them an exclusive. You announced the name of the record, Unbreakable.
Yes.
So explain this to me. Well, the title Unbreakable, where's that come from?
Well, Unbreakable is also the title track of the album. There's a song on there called Unbreakable.
Okay.
And when I really thought about the year it took to write the record, everything that I had been through, I really felt like I came out unbreakable on the other side, as opposed to our record before this one, where I felt almost like I was too breakable. Do you know what I mean? But now with the fans behind us and our team behind us and this new music, I really feel like I am unbreakable.
Yeah, I mean, just I can't imagine what a different disposition, you're writing songs from, Ash, on this new record. Can I go back just briefly to the story?
Please do.
Okay, I didn't know it was cool or not. But the last record,
Okay, no one can...
I know.
It's okay, you're not the first. Malevolence.
Malevolence. I can't pronounce anything, though.
Yeah.
So Malevolence. All right, we're learning on Build today. But this record, you wrote this record after, I think it was a 5-year relationship that you were...
It was a long one.
Okay,
Yeah. There was a breakup, and it probably the worst breakup you could possibly imagine going
Right.
through. I've never talked about who it was or what the exact circumstances are, and I never will. But when I wrote Malevolence in about 2015, 16, it was the darkest time of my life on this planet. I really didn't think I was going to make it out on the other side alive, and it shows in the songs, especially the title track Malevolence. It's not a happy record.
Right.
But now we've written the most pop metal record or the most metal pop record. Either way, we're happy with it.
Right, and it's organic, though. If you go back to the last record, your fans love it, and it comes through the passion, right? You could say anger, whatever, but it's passion on that title track from the last record. Looking back now, would you have handled that any differently?
No, absolutely not. I love that record.
Okay.
And I'm a big person where I feel like you have to dance with your demons and you have to make friends with your monsters. And I'm not scared of the darkness because I know that the light is coming. And this record, Unbreakable, is our light at the end of that darkness that we went through.
Right. You've described the sound of this new record as, in so few words, heavy riffs with catchy choruses. How else would you describe it? Let's go down the line. That's just one kind of description I've heard, but how would you each describe it?
What do you think?
It's definitely something that you could bang your head to and shake your hips at the same time.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I love everything about it. Just
Right.
It's just a lot of heavy riffs. That's the game.
All right.
Yeah, the guitars are super low. There's a lot of weight to it, and then the vocals kind of soar over top. So it definitely sits really well.
Ooh, that's really good. There is a lot of weight to it. It's heavy. Yeah. It's heavy.
Oh, I get
love
it.
Because I'm such a juxtaposition. I do have this darkness, but I also have this light airiness to me. And I love heavy metal and I love pop music. And it felt like it was the right time to marry those two together. I feel like everyone's ready to hear that.
Right. Give me an example, though. Illustrate that juxtaposition you talk about. Give me like the heaviest metal record you can get down to, and then give me like the most bubblegum
Easy.
pop that is on your phone right now.
That's on my phone, or like what New Year's Day is kind of being inspired by.
No, just like we'll get into inspiration.
Well-
I'm just curious, like your sort of like spectrum of musical taste, because you talk about the pop and you talk about the metal. Give me like the heaviest metal you're into, and then
If
like
I could put Pantera and Justin Timberlake together, that would be my ideal music to listen to.
All right.
Like the singing and vocal melodies of Justin Timberlake, Bruno Mars, Kehlani, but with like Pantera.
right.
You know, like the butthole melting riffs, as I like to call it. It's not pretty.
You guys don't
But
even
it
need
rocks.
like Rolling Stone and Billboard. Just put these quotes on the bottom of any press
I've been
release.
saying
Like,
it all
I'm in.
week, so hopefully somebody will.
The butthole melting. I'm gonna.
Sounds like something
good on
a tombstone.
Sorry.
I might steal that. No, I like that. With this record, you talk about the heavy riffs and the catchy choruses. Who do you think though has done that really well in the past? Maybe I'm not saying that this record's gonna sound like them, but when you think about bands or groups or artists that have done that really well, because it's a fine line.
It is. There's a female-fronted metal band called In This Moment.
Okay.
And I truly feel like they are very good at the heavy riffs, but the really poppy, catchy melodies.
Right.
Especially if you guys want to check out a song called Adrenalize Me. That could easily have been a Kelly Clarkson or Britney Spears song if you took out the metal riffs.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I love. I want to sing along. I want to bop my head, but I also want to headbang too.
Yeah, totally. And getting back really quick, just like that notion of a Warped Tour world. That's your background, Ash. What is the musical foundation for you guys though individually? Is it similar, or how would you describe it?
It's pretty similar. Like we grew up in Orange County, so I was heavy into like the OC punk rock scene.
Okay.
So anything that was like a rebellion and just being a walking middle finger was what
Name
I
some
attracted
bands.
to.
'Cause it's a great
Actually,
scene.
being here in New York, like one of my all-time favorite bands is the New York Dolls.
Okay.
Ramones, Blondie, like that whole CBGB scene.
Yeah.
And then growing up in Orange County, like some of my favorite bands were like the Adolescents, Wasted Youth, Circle Jerks, Black Flag, just all that stuff. That's what I grew up on. I love it.
Yeah.
And just being here too just has that constant, like you still have that feeling when you walk down the street.
Oh yeah.
Like we were walking down the Bowery, I'm like, oh God, like Joey Ramone probably used to walk around here, you know.
No, totally.
It's still awesome to me.
Yeah.
I'm from Ohio, so really dark. So I'm more into like the industrial side of everything. Nine Inch
Okay.
Nails, Ministry, Skinny Puppy,
Totally.
all that really disgusting sounding, sounds that they put into instrumentation.
But oh so good.
oh, so good.
Yeah, I came from more of like a classic rock background, so Guns N' Roses, Boston, Ozzy. That was it for me.
Yeah.
Isn't that the most perfect combination? We got the punk
Totally.
rock, the goth industrial, the classic rock, and then me. I'm a little bit of everything.
And I want to talk to you about Bert, because I heard Bert's at like the top of the list.
Burt McCracken?
Yeah.
Oh, ask me anything you want to know.
Well, no, because this moment is so. I mean, it's like a lot of people. You grow up. I want to be a rock star. You kind of determined you were going to be a rock star from this one moment of seeing Bert climb to the top of the stage at Warped Tour. I think 2003 maybe.
It was 2003, and my mom wouldn't take me to back then I had to have my mom's permission to go to places. So my mom wouldn't take me to Warped Tour. I went with my friends, and we didn't have money to buy tickets, so we snuck in. I've already asked Kevin Lyman if I could say that out loud, but don't do that, kids. Don't sneak into concerts. And
Well, they have daycare for parents now.
now they do.
Yeah.
Back then, no. And I snuck in just in time to see a band called The Used playing the main stage, and Burt McCracken was playing the song Taste of Ink, and during the bridge, he climbed the rafters and let go and fell into the crowd, and I just had this moment of like, I will make sure that I'm there someday. I'm not meant to be standing here. I'm meant to be up there. And then fast forward to 2015 Warped Tour, Burt invited me on stage to sing Taste of Ink.
So wild.
It gives me goosebumps because
Talk about surreal.
it's crazy, and there's been so many moments like that, and it's just insane to think of it.
I don't know what it says about you, but I love that, as a kid, you see a man jump from the rafters into a crowd, and you're like, I want to do that. That's what I want to do.
That looks so fun. I mean, I've never done that, and I highly doubt I ever will. But maybe someday.
Yeah, totally. How do you guys feel about Warped? Kind of. I mean, it's over, but it's not over. But that had to be a bit bittersweet, right?
Well, I mean, we played it 7 times.
Yeah.
We played 7 years. We started in 2007, and No, I don't think Warped Tour's over though. So I'm not mourning anything. I just think Warped Tour will always be around. It's just gonna look a little different.
It's evolving.
Yeah, it has to evolve. I think we're in an era where the 3-day festival is king, and Warped Tour's just adapting.
Yeah,
just
totally.
like everything else.
Well, speaking of evolving, this record is, of course, an evolution of you guys, and the fans have responded so overwhelmingly to Skeletons. Yeah. When can we get like the next piece? Is it an official single? Like, what can you tell us about the next piece of music we're gonna get from you guys?
We are going to reveal a lot more about the record on March 1st.
Okay.
And we really can't say anything about the first single.
Can't say a word.
Can't say anything.
Interesting. Is there a hint in there?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. Well, March 1st is fastly approaching. It's getting back, you got a tour coming up, and I want to talk about that in a second, but you came off a pretty wild tour last year, playing arenas, I believe. How was that?
Yeah. When you start a band, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but when you start a band and you're a teenager, you dream about playing arenas someday. So this year was like a pinch me year because that's pretty much all we played.
Insanely. Going back to what you said, like when you first started a band, you're like, I'm going to be the biggest band in the world. I'm going to rule the world. But when you play in bars and stuff, you're like, oh, that's never going to happen. But then we're sitting there doing it. Going back to surreal, like it's almost like indescribable.
Because we're just 4 punk kids, like to think that it got that far is just, we just want to thank the fans. Every time I think about it, I just think about all the kids that have been there along the way.
I remember just like being on stage before, like when we were doing sound check, and I would just like stare in awe. And they'd be like, Nikki, get your guitar back. Oh,
sorry. That moment
Counting
they pulled out all the cameras with the cell phone lights.
Yeah.
So crazy.
I had to do the cliche, like everyone light up the arena with your cell phone light. I mean, how could you not? I had to seize the
You can't
moment.
do lighters anymore, right? There's no more light. Back
Probably
in
a
the
bad
day.
idea.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
Especially
back in the
us.
day.
We're very flammable people. So
You have evolved obviously from bar gigs to these arena shows, but even deeper than that, you've sort of had to alter your show. I have to imagine, right? From going from like a punk crowd, or
No.
you haven't. You didn't have to
No.
alter it at all. From like going from like a
No.
like a hailstorm crowd to like no, really.
no. In fact, I get asked a lot. Well, are you nervous playing for 5,000-6,000 people? And no, it's exactly the same playing
Really?
a crowd of 200 people to 2,000 people to 20,000 people. We're the same. We don't really rely on a lot of spectacle for
Okay.
our show. We just rely on ourselves. And Nikki's a one-man show, so we have him.
Do you have any advice to like a young musician watching or a young fan who wants to do what you guys are doing on like how to not lose yourself in the moment? Because the shows are getting bigger, but of course your show is just as good. How do you not like let the moment overtake you?
Oh my, I don't even know how to answer that.
Stay humble.
Yeah.
Yeah. We make fun of each other enough internally that we're all super humble. So
Yeah.
there's never a weird moment where
It should probably always feel surreal, right?
yeah, it always feels like a dream. I always feel like one day I'm just going to wake up and be like 13 back in my bed going to
Yeah.
school like, no, it's all over.
So looking forward to the tour you got coming up this year, Falling in Reverse, you guys are going on the road with. How long have you known those guys, or do you know those guys?
actually, to be honest, I have a really cool memory about Ronnie Radke, the singer of Falling in Reverse. So New Year's Day played our first Warped Tour in 2007 when we were just babies. And Kevin Lyman always had a soft spot for us. So on our last day on Warped Tour, he put us on the main stage. And I remember looking over and seeing Ronnie Radke watching us and like nodding his head. And after I got off stage, he said like, "You're going somewhere," and over 10 years later, we're finally touring together. But
But that must have been so much to you in 2007.
at the time, yeah, he was singing Escape the Fate then, and he was the hot ticket item that year on Warped Tour. Well, still is, but that year I remember I was just the new kid at the school, so I looked up to him majorly.
Yeah, that's always cool about Warped, though, and coming up in that scene is it is a community. It's almost like a school. You say that, but...
It's band boot camp for sure.
It definitely is. And not only that, Tyler Burgess and Max Georgiev, that plays in Falling in Reverse, we've known for years. So it's also awesome just to see like old friends again.
Family.
Do we have dates?
Yes, it starts April 16th.
To March
April
20
16th in Vegas
May.
May 24th or 25th in Los Angeles at the Palladium.
It's pretty good. Most bands have no idea when tour is.
I'm not sure.
And then, do we have an album release date yet?
No, we're not telling you yet.
Not
But you'll
telling
find
yet.
out much more March 1st. So make sure
Okay.
to follow all of our socials
Right.
and you'll see what's coming.
Do you have a number of tracks?
Can't tell you that either.
Can't tell you that. But there is, like, would you say the album is done?
Oh, yeah, it's done.
Okay,
It's in
awesome.
the can. It's ready to go.
Oh, nice. Right. Can you tell us one track that you're excited to hear about?
Do you guys want to talk about your favorite tracks?
If we can't say the name, track number 6, I believe.
Oh, this is actually kind of
Say
fun.
the name.
Okay, I didn't
If you
know.
have
I
the
didn't want
sequence, you have the
You
sequence
just
in.
can't
Track
this
6.
one.
It's amazing.
What's your
Track number
favorite
6
track?
is really good.
You can say the title.
It's called Done With You. It's the name of the. It's the name. Oh my god! I don't want to give away too much from it, but
You sound excited.
I'm so excited. Every time, I constantly have that song stuck in my head when I wake up, when I go to sleep. If we're just like out walking around, I'll be humming it.
Yeah.
Or like if I'm talking to him, I'll start talking to him in that melody of the song.
Same. Done With You,
With
and the riffs in Done With You are spectacular, and the riff in Unbreakable is spectacular. I can't wait till you guys hear this.
Oh,
it's so good.
Misunderstood is also another really good one.
Okay.
And then Break My Body, Nocturnal.
My favorite is a song called "Come For Me,"
Okay.
and it's a fight song. It's kind of my invitation to the world that if you've got something to say, come say it to my face.
All right.
I think
get
we can all
behind
use
that.
a song like that.
Yeah. When is really? We're gonna get to the fans here in just a second. We got some Twitter questions and also from the fans here in the studio. But just in closing here, when to you as an artist is an album born? Is it when you finish recording it? Is it when you put a title to the world? Is it when it's out? Is it when you perform it for the first time? There's so many different sort of like chapters to an album. When is it officially like a real thing for you?
That's weird. That's such a good question. No one's ever asked me that. I've never thought about it. I think the day it's available for the entire world to purchase, I feel, is the day it's born.
Okay, cool. You guys concur?
It's still in the incubator right now.
Yeah, incubator. I think it starts to speak. You know, it has its first words once we're able to start playing it,
Yeah, yeah.
and it really takes on its life
When is it?
personality.
When does it start walking?
When it's
About
in my
like 3 or 4
Dropbox.
weeks in the tour.
When it's in my Dropbox, ready to listen to.
Yeah, when you start to see the reaction and the realization that you accomplished something.
All right, let's get to. We have a Twitter question we're going to get to right now and bring it up on the screen, I believe. It comes from @officially_Sarah, and the question is right here. New Year's Day, when starting the writing process of the new album, did y'all want to go in and write a certain kind, or did y'all just let everyone come out organically?
I had a certain vision in mind. Every songwriter I met with, or whenever we were writing together, or when I was meeting with a producer, I always talked about a metal pop album or a pop metal album. It was something I really wanted to drive home. So right away, that was the vision.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Sarah, for the question on Twitter. And let's get to some live studio audience questions. The first will come from right over here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
This question's for everyone, and I was just wondering who would be your dream artist to collaborate with, if you could collaborate with anyone?
Trent Reznor.
Oh,
All the way.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Marilyn Manson.
Slap.
Oh, yeah.
I'll probably go Danny Elfman.
Oh, I'm changing my
soundtrack.
answer. Danny Elfman. Oh, whoa. I thought he was going to drop the mic.
Bill just had a heart attack.
Sorry, Bill.
Any dream collaborations?
Probably Slash.
All right.
That sounds like a really good record just now that we came up with.
Yeah.
Let's make this happen.
Let's get these notes.
What do you like about Manson, though? There's so much to like about him. Is it the visuals? Is it the song? Is it his personality?
My biggest thing that I love about Marilyn Manson is that he is his art. There is no off switch. He is walking art.
Yeah.
The way he looks, the way he talks. I just imagine he goes to sleep and wakes up just living and breathing what he creates.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing about him.
That's awesome. Let's get to the second studio audience question. It'll come from over here.
Hi, this
Hi.
question is for all of you.
Hello.
What's the hardest part of touring life for you guys?
Showering.
Wow. It's so easy to tour with these guys. They're so awesome. So that's a hard question. I think the hardest part is, just missing my animals at home. I think that's the hardest part because I can't talk to them and I think they get confused and probably think I'm never coming back. So, yeah, that's probably the hardest part for me.
Hardest part for me is the end and saying goodbye to everybody.
The end of tour.
Showering.
Yeah, end of
seriously.
tour. I never want tour to end.
All right.
Just being away from your loved ones, whoever that is for whoever, your girlfriend, your family, your loved ones. That's probably the hardest part. But, you have such a good time when you're on the road that it kind of makes it all worth it.
But we're your loved ones.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah,
the hell?
exactly. Well,
come on, Alton.
Alton.
Let's get
My
to
new
the-
name is Auten. They took out the S.
We have a lot of nicknames for each other.
Do you really?
Yeah, they call me Princess Butthole. I don't know.
A lot of butthole
I don't
mentions
know.
on the show today. What's up with those? Why are you Princess Butthole?
I guess sometimes they say I act like a butthole, but I'm a princess about it, so they just started calling me Princess Butthole.
We like to be PG with our hateful remarks.
That is very PG, isn't it? I kind of like it. I think I might make it a shirt.
That is quite the merch item. Let's get to the final studio audience question. Where are we? Over here.
Hi. Kind of similar to that one. What's been your most punk moment on tour or weirdest fan interaction?
Oh, that's such a hard question because we have so many punk moments.
Yeah, I have.
We've accidentally gotten into quite a few fights, honestly. Never with like fans or venue people. What about when you guys got kicked out of the venue for stealing alcohol from the promoter?
How did you meet me?
Oh my gosh! So the way I met Frankie Sills, he was in another band. We were on tour together, and it was at an after party, like the end of the show, and we were just.
Do I even know this story?
Yeah, you should. Oh. Well, once I tell you, you'll be like, oh yeah.
Okay.
And then I remember Frankie just running up to me, and he's like, "Watch this!" And he just takes a safety pin about this big in my ear, and then just shoves it through his lip. I was like, "Yes,
oh yeah,
you are
yeah,
my
that's right.
favorite person." And
he was
since
notorious for doing that. I don't know
then,
why.
we're friends.
Now we're friends.
I remember one time we used to spit blood on stage, and we would have like this special stage blood that we would use. That's like for your mouth. It tastes like a cherry syrup. And one day I ran out, and someone brought like the Target kind of brand where it was
me.
like shame and regret.
It tastes like gasoline.
And I put it on my mouth. I was about to spit it out on people, but I accidentally swallowed it, and it was so gross that I threw up on stage while playing guitar, like by my amp, and then just turned around and like, nope, didn't skip a beat or anything.
Wow, I don't remember that.
It was in Texas when that happened, at the White Rabbit, to be exact.
That is something you'll never forget, the
You're
state
welcome, guys.
or the venue. Yeah. And all things we can look forward to when you hit the road this year, guys. So one more time, thank you very much for stopping by. New Year's Day.
Thank you, guys.